Well, how is he? James Harden starts off the day with a bang. He's in China, right? Not Japan. He's in China talking about, hey, Daryl Morey, you're a liar, and I will never, never join the 76ers or any team that you're a part of again. What do we think about this? About James Harden, Daryl Morey,
Well,
anything?
let me set it off. These two is like baby father and baby mama. It's like a disgruntled baby. Like it's just. And let me just tell you the irony of this. Didn't LeBron make a comment about China and Daryl Morey corrected him a couple years ago? And then look at the irony now. James Harden is beefing with him in China. Listen, man, James Harden legacy is just tarnished. Like James Harden is going from being one of the respectable shooting guards that ever played a game to just a joke, man. I remember Charles Barkley once said James Harden is the greatest offensive player he's ever seen. Now he's going to be known to just be do dumb shit, man. Excuse my language. Just like you jumping from team to team. Like, what do you want? Y'all guys are getting everything y'all want.
Well, he wants a long-term extension. Morey didn't want to give it to him, and apparently they had an agreement last year.
Should nobody give it to him? Do he think he did? Like, see, this is why I laugh. The jig is up. GM's organizations, they hip to the game. They hip to the game. Like you didn't play well enough to get an extension. Nobody's going to give you an extension, bro. So don't try to put that on Daryl Morey. Yeah, Daryl Morey, excuse me, probably promised you that last season. But looking at it now, bro, I'm not. You don't deserve that. You laid that egg against Game 6 and Game 7, and Daryl Morey know you better than anybody. You this money, you ain't coming to training camp. You going to party with Meek Mill and Lil Baby and them. Come on, bro. So don't act like Daryl Morey don't know what's going on with you. Nah.
Uh-oh.
Daryl Morey
AllBall
knows
got a
exactly
call.
what's going on with James, with Jim. That's your man, Jim Dime. He
Plumber
knows
Jim.
exactly what's going on with Jim Harden. I
Yeah,
respect him
well,
more if we call him Jim.
dude, I don't have anything to say about him. I
You
was
don't have
pretty
anything to
surprised.
say?
Well, I guess I have some, but I was pretty surprised when I saw that today. For a player to come out and say that about his general manager, knowing that everyone is going to see that. A general manager who, as AllBall mentioned, or you mentioned, he has history with. This is a guy that is like, the guy that was mainly in charge of Houston's analytics revolution. He called him the greatest offensive player of all time. Stuff like that. Better, did he say he was better than Kobe, or did he say he was better than Wade? I mean, he said one of those
Yeah,
things.
He was up there.
yeah, I'm
He was he. I mean, he vouched for him like that. He, as a general manager, he's going about that relate like he's if even if he didn't say it, he's treating him as if he was Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant. He has given he has treated James Harden like the prodigal son in basketball, which I've always disagreed with. But going back to I don't even continue your point, all ball that Daryl Morey was the guy who knows James Harden more than anyone else. He's gonna party it up with little baby in them if he gave him that bread.
yeah. Listen, the heist. Just real quick, I'll finish my what I was saying. Apologize for the interruption, but the jig is up. Like you can't like the Danny Ocean's 11 is up. You ain't gonna heist me. What you want 5? What you want 5 years, 300? That's what you want. Like cut the jokes, man. Like man. So I commend these GMs, and I'm not even a fan of Daryl Morey, but I commend him. I commend the Knicks for not jumping out the window on Paul George. Nah, I'm not giving y'all guys no extension. Like I said, for one, Paul George is injury prone. For two, person like James Harden, you don't show up. That's your track record. That's your track record. You think I'm gonna give you an extension? Embiid leaves. Now we stuck with you as our number one option. And then once Embiid leaves, you know what James Harden gonna do, right? I
He's
want
gonna
to
go with
get out
Fat.
of here.
Yeah.
Exactly. Come on, bro. Yeah. So
He's already done it.
thank you. So they see y'all a mile away. So salute Daryl Morey for standing his ground. James Harden, as great as a player as you are, the great players and the fans, you losing us, bro. You losing us, bro. And I'm gonna be honest, we talked about James Harden a lot. It's okay to want the money, but you gotta put the work in, man. You don't care about the game. I'm sorry, man. And I don't mean to say that about nobody, but I'm over James Harden. I guarantee you, I'm not watching one Philadelphia. Whatever team James Harden go to, I'm not even watching that team play. I'm dead serious. Dead serious. I'm over James Harden. Sorry.
Kind of tough.
It's like a spoil you kid. It's really not. You play when you want to. You do what you want. When you don't get your way, you complain and run to another team. I'm over James. I want to see guys that respect the game and love the game and play hard. I'm not watching nobody else no more that I feel don't respect the game. I'm sorry. I'm over James Harden.
Dom, there was a tweet I only saw because I think you retweeted it or liked it.
Yeah, we can listen to this.
Yeah, what Kevin McHale said, because this is major. Because remember, Kevin McHale, he was there with.
What was the stuff you saw
James
that
Harden.
allowed you to see that a mile away? Go into that a little bit, Mac.
Just when you're playing and you want to win, and there's a big difference between winning and putting up numbers. And I've argued putting up numbers with guys who couldn't put up numbers. The guys average 8 points a game. They say that averaging 20 is not hard, and they go, "Oh my God," And I'm like, "It's not hard if you shoot enough and have the ball in your hands enough. What's hard is getting out, and what James never did well, but he did when he first came from. We got him in OKC. So I was coaching when James, when he first came from OKC. He came off down screens. He did a lot. He ran the wing. When I'm running the left wing and you've got the ball in the middle, Cam, and it's going to be a break, and James just quits running, and all of a sudden the 3-on-2 turns into a 2-on-2, and I don't get a shot. No one gets a shot, and just because the guy's not running out ahead of the ball or throwing the ball ahead, or a lot of the little things that was not demanded that James do after a while. That just, I was like, man, that only lasts so long. And you're not going to win if you don't do little things. If you're not a player that can go out and get defensive stops, then you better be a great team defender. You had better be in the right help. Larry wasn't a great wasn't a great individual defender, but he was a great team defender, and he was always in the right spot. Always willing to make the play, diving on balls, just doing all that stuff.
Wow.
And those were all the things I said. James can do it. It's just he didn't want it. And
wow.
So I just was like, it's only going to last so long when your top guy's not willing to just do a lot of just the dirt working things that it takes to win, and not NBA games during the season, but what it takes to win championships. It's so freaking hard to win 4 series, to win a championship, and at some point you're playing a team every bit as good as you are. So you've got to just do all the little things. I thought Daryl let him slide on a lot of that stuff, and so I just feel like eventually that just comes back and bites you in the rear end.
Wow. There you go, Dom. There you go, Fade. Sums it all up.
I mean, again, everybody wants to argue with me about this. Like all the Clipper fans that want James Harden, which again, I just don't know what goes through those people's heads. We clearly just see basketball very differently. I'm gonna leave it at that. But we've seen this guy, his resume on and off the court. Everywhere he's gone, it's always some drama surrounding his exit. It doesn't, in Houston, it had a little good run. It did have a good run. Then it came to an end, and then everywhere he's gone since has been kind of messy, to say the least. I hate the way I'm not even going to sugarcoat it, the way he's quit on his teams, literally quit on his teams. Like going through the motions, like almost like he's requested a trade, but he hasn't really demanded a trade, going through the motions, like as if he's tanking in game. Like I remember Calvin Murphy said when he was with Houston, Calvin Murphy, a Rockets legend, said he quit. He said I don't think he realized that they were still recording. They were on air. He said he quit. The Brooklyn Nets, we know how that went. And mind you, I'm not blaming that all on Harden. The James Posey, I don't know why that name came to my head. The Nets debacle with the front office and all that, Joe Tsai, it wasn't just Harden's fault. We saw that with the Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving departure, that clearly the organization was not being run very well. But just the way he kind of gave up on the team, the fans, playing that game against Sacramento where he was like just walking up and down the court. It was just the way he went about his exit was terrible. This, I don't fully blame him because Daryl Morey did technically lie to him. I feel what AllBall is saying when he says, well, you didn't perform in the playoffs, but we knew that was a potential risk going into last season. Like knowing James Harden, you knew that he could probably not. He may not play well in the playoffs, but you can still say you got a decent season out of Harden, an all-star caliber season. Wouldn't you agree? 20-10, got him one game away from the second round. Like it wasn't like he was bad, right?
Yeah, but
So yeah,
just real quick, Fabian, I'm sorry, because I don't want to lose this thought. Yeah, Daryl Morey lied to him, but can we say, in a sense, James Harden lied as well with his performance and just doing what he wants without blatantly saying, like, so they both lying. But let me just say this, I'm gonna let Fave go. What Kevin McHale just said, basically, smart guy. You know what he said, right? This is why Houston never got over the hump. So it had nothing to do with, so now we can settle all the debates about Chris Paul being hurt and all this and all that. Kevin McHale basically said, to win championships, you have to do the little things. And that guy will not do it. Forget being able to play defense. He's not going to play help defense. He's not going to get in the passing lane. He's not going to dive. He's not doing none of the little things. So no matter who went over there, it wasn't going to happen. That's basically what Kevin McHale said. And those guys talk. And Daryl Morey, even though I'm not a fan of him, being as smart as he is, he understands that. Bro, you ain't going to do what it takes to win championships. So just as I lied to you, you lied to me too, because you do not give your all. And you probably 9 times out of 10 tells Daryl Morey, because y'all that close, bro, I'm going to do whatever it takes. And he doesn't do that. So down, they lying to each other, man. But I commend Daryl Morey because he ain't falling for the banana in the tailpipe. And what the legend Kevin McHale just did, that needs to happen more often because these guys is getting away with murder, Dom. They getting $200-300 million and they're not playing their butts off. And the jig is up.
Yeah, there's too many stories of James Harden, not doing the little things or not leading by example or, just not exuding the qualities of a championship leader. And I know people don't like these kind of words. I've seen people today on Twitter defending him and just saying like, oh, like intangibles, mentality, like that's not why he's lost. But again, I feel like these are people that just either didn't play competitive sports or like haven't actually. They're people that are so invested in stats, they don't actually listen to people that have been in the game. Like Kevin McHale, this is one of the greatest power forwards of all time. Like this is a guy that knows what it takes to win. Does that mean it automatically makes him a great coach? Not necessarily, but he knows. He played with Larry Bird. He played with Dennis Johnson. Like he knows what winners look like. And I'm not saying he's a loser, James Harden. He's accomplished so much.
He picked Kevin Garnett.
Exactly. To be a championship best player, there are certain things you need to see. There are certain things that Harden does. Like his effort level in some closeout games has been ridiculous. I don't want any of these qualities, a guy that's not going to work extra hard, not going to go to the extra mile. We question where his motivation is, what his number one priorities are. Right. This is not somebody I want on the Clippers. I don't understand what people see in this. I think it's because he's from LA and they're like, I think some Clipper fans just want the shiny toy. Like they just want to bring everybody here. Oh, super team this. But I don't get where that leaves Westbrook. I really don't. Everyone's like, oh, Harden can be a spot-up shooter. When have we ever seen him be solely a spot-up shooter? They're so convinced that he can adjust and sacrifice and all that. And I'm not saying that he's going to beef in the locker room type, but there literally is only one ball. And it just feels very clunky if he comes to the Clippers. And I'm really happy that the trade talks are dying down. This is where I'll land. I'm really happy that the trade talks are dying down because as y'all know and I'm saying, I want nothing to do with this guy. He's my least favorite star that's ever played basketball. And it's not personal. It's because of all the things you just said. We're not even talking about the way he plays basketball. And then there's all the little things. I just wouldn't show him as an example to any of the kids that I coach to say, that's how you're supposed to be. That's how you're supposed to act on the court. And, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. I'd pick a bunch of guys before I pick James Harden. I want nothing to do with him. And I'm happy that these talks have slowed down. I hope he doesn't get anywhere near this city unless it's visiting to play against us.
Damn. I wanna say it is about the way he plays. We have been talking about the way he plays and his approach. We talked about that last week. He just, when the hell does James Harden say anything? All of his statements are in pictures with AllBall touchdown pause in a picture with little baby in them after the club, after a loss. You know, so the first time he decided to say something is to call out a general manager who looked out for you your whole career, basically. He looked out for you. You saved his career out there in Houston, and you were a part of all the trades that went out there in Houston. And he saved you in Brooklyn. He saved you because you wanted out from over there, and Kyrie Irving was busting your ass. You pause when we forget about this. Like, that's the thing about Kyrie. Like, they jump from team to team, but Kyrie got more dog in him than him in himself. Like, at the end of the day, if I had to choose one, that's the only reason why I'll go with Kyrie. You know, Harden is clearly a better talent, MVP caliber kid, guy in his prime. But I think we speak about him so much that it's so easy to make him a target, and we've already explained everything about him. That, you know, it is what it is. I'm already sick. I'm sick of Daryl Morey, and we should be talking about this. He's supposed to be the superstar general manager who has not gotten it done. Like, what are we talking about right now? It's easy to point to LeBron, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. They jump from team to team. This guy has you talk about the amount of players that he's traded for and hasn't gotten the job done.
Most overrated GM ever.
Easily. And he definitely deserves all the smoke for that. They both are clearly lying. He did what he had to do finally, but at the same time, nah, Daryl Morey, you're the leader of this analytics game. Which, shout out to Kenya Martin. I really like Kenya Martin when he speaks. He speaks very candid, and I thought he would have been so pro player, but he's very fair. He's just kind of straight up about his approach. And he said, yo, it's half analytics and it's half the game. Daryl Morey has yet to understand the feel for the game. Like, you promised this guy the city of Philadelphia that James Harden was your savior. You've been trying to trade for him for 4 years. You were willing to give up Ben Simmons for him back then when he was in Houston still. So this is your guy. I've never seen it. Even when he was MVP, I'm like, there's no way he's in the same caliber as Steph Curry and LeBron or KD. He's not that. That's just not him for me. So Daryl Morey deserves way more smoke than this. The tweet that he put out against China, there's a lot of stuff with him that he ducks. And a part of it is because he's a general manager and gets to hide. But he's not just a regular general manager. He's a superstar general manager. He's the face of this whole era. Him, and he brought James Harden involved with this whole thing, being the analytics guru. Get Daryl Morey the fuck out of here.
Well, let me say this. Him and James Harden almost single-handedly mess up the game. I don't want to curse, but they Batman and Robin duo BS that they tried to pull off. Him being a great analytical mind, and then you got a guy that's just going to do a whole bunch of video. Like I told you, I'm being honest. I know this may be taking it a bit far. Wherever Harden goes, you can have it. I don't want to have nothing to do with Harden. And like Dom said, I'm so glad the Harden to the Knicks talk has just went all the way out the window. All the way out the window. So I don't know where he goes. I don't care where he goes. But like I said, these two dudes just like I said, man, they like the honeymooners, man. Norton and Ralph Cramden. Get them both out of here, man. Yeah.
To the moon.
No, yeah. Real talk. Yeah. Get them out of here, man.
Yeah. And you got anything else before we move on? I was going to say, the last thing is, like, when have you seen James Harden? Can you picture in your head him ever diving for a loose ball? Running full speed to get back on defense after a turnover?
And he want the max, Dom. He want the extension. You got to be kidding me, man.
I just can't. I don't know what the Clippers fans are riled up about. Like you said, his approach to the game, even he's on the court. Like, say what you want about Westbrook. I think he plays with a mid IQ, I should say, not low IQ, because he goes hard. Westbrook goes like he damn near dies. Like, he feels like he's about to die on the court. He gives his whole heart out there, regardless if he can play better, play smarter. James Harden, he doesn't, and James Harden don't play that smart.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
So when the moment gets bigger, I agree. His IQ gets lower.
Yeah. So whatever Clippers fans want him there are bugging. You guys are crazy if you want that guy on your team. If he comes to New York, it would just be a comedy show, just to throw tomatoes at him at the Garden, because we would have a field day with that dude. He does not want to come here. We would thrash him.
No. See, before we get out of here, you got to remember, you know why he would come here, right? Because he's gonna want the money. Then he's gonna demand a trade. Remember, man. Listen, until Adam Silver put a stop to all of this, this is what these guys is doing. Go where they can get the money and then go get me out of here. Come on, man. Listen, I guarantee you, Daryl Morey, let's say they wasn't beefing. Daryl Morey give him the extension. He was still demanding a trade. So it ain't about he don't want to go to New York. Yes, he do. He want to go where he gonna get what he wants, and then he's gonna demand a trade. Adam Silver, one of the softest guys I've ever seen at this position, has to go. Has to go.
Well, that's
I can't say that because they just changed the rules up to, and that's part. Because I put it to like this, just to put the nail in the coffin. That's part of the reason why he's so desperate to get the deal, because he knows it's over. When you go to the next team, the new CBA deal that's in place, you can't do that anymore. They could offer you something, but it's going to be a lot harder for you to get this deal with a new team. And he knows that.
Here's another thing. He could have, if he really just wanted his money, he could have just opted out and signed a new contract with another team. But because of the new CBA, certain teams can't afford what he wants. So he would have had to go to a team that's probably not a championship contender. So now you know what I'm saying? He wants to handpick where he goes when he's on contract. Like, it's too much nonsense for me with him.
That's why you see with Houston, you see that got shut down. You know who shut that down, right?
To go
Ime Udoka. Yeah, remember when it was hot saying he going back to Houston? They say these is facts. Y'all can look it up. They said Ime Udoka shut that down. I don't want to have nothing to do with him. He ain't coming over here. That's why that never worked out. Yeah, come on, man. No, the jig is up, bro. Ain't nobody going through that.
Yo, you got to be right, because for Kevin McHale to say that, like he basically said everything we say, and we're not in the locker room
for 3 years.
Right. So for him to just confirm all of that, like, and not even hesitate. I like James and everything, but just roll. He's anybody. Like, I feel bad. Yo, shout out to Dave Blees, man. I feel bad because this is a bad day for him and Philadelphia fans too. I don't feel bad for y'all because y'all are crazy.
Rest in peace, the Black Mamba, one of the GOATs who called it first before everybody.
Oh man.
Let's not forget who called it first before everybody. And if y'all think he was only talking about offense, you lost your mind. Kobe seen the whole package and said that is not winning basketball. Black Mamba, big shout out Kobe Bryant, who seen it before everybody and called it before everybody.
God bless the dead. Nick Pillow in the building.
Nick Pillow, Rockstar Mel.